And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the afternoon Wednesday session of Make HOAG Money, where you, the traders, get to look for opportunities, discuss, vote, and I take them. Welcome. This is the CFTC disclaimer. We should probably know it by heart by now, but it states that there's a lot of risk in futures trading. These are leveraged products. We could lose more than our initial investment. Risk capital is the only money we should use. And if you ask me, risk capital is money that I can afford to lose. Top Step is a great place to go because once you're successful in the trading combine, we're going to put the risk capital up for you. It also states that hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations, and they most certainly do. I can't tell you how many traders come to me and say, on sim, I trade really well, but once I'm in the trading combine, or God forbid, you fund your own account, it becomes much more difficult. It's because there's no rules, no accountabilities, and no consequences in a simulated account. This is a live account that we're going to be trading. We're going to be trading, of course, micros. And we are, of course, using this for educational purposes only. There's no suggestion that we all should be purchasing or selling anything we do here. Rules for Make HOAG Money. Where was I? I lost myself here. Usually I introduce myself, but you guys should probably all know me already. The rules for Make HOAG Money, kindness and respect are expected above everything. We're going to have a couple of people enabled to speak should they choose to. We're all going to be involved in the decision-making process. Context, if you are speaking, you will be able to show your charts, is of course going to be helpful in those decisions. We're going to use the chat room to discuss the trades. In the Zoom meeting, we will be able to vote for these trades. You won't be able to on YouTube, and welcome everybody on YouTube. We are looking forward to seeing what we've got today. Of course, we're not going to be trading just to trade. We've got to have reason and risk management for all the trades we take. We're not going to be taking losing trades, which is, of course, a joke. We know that there are going to be losses in trading. We have to accept them and move on. And, of course, feedback on Make HOAG Money is vital. If you have suggestions or ideas, please let me know. Here's the platform. Here's the sitch. We've got a breakout above an area of balance. Breakout rules say we go with the breakout. We had a pretty substantial pushback on Monday, but now look where we are. We are above the high of Monday, looking towards weekly kickoff high 39.90, which is largely a naked point of control from the past. Here's the 30-minute chart. No, that's the NASDAQ. Where'd the 30 go? There it is. So I'm going to F5 bomb this thing because there's a couple of things missing that I want to show you. Delta, negative. Negative delta all day against direction. What does that mean? It means that there may be longer time frame traders adjusting inventory and getting the short time frame traders shorter and shorter as price continues to push higher. When we see this occasionally, we may see a late spike at the end of the day, which we started with today. We had a late spike yesterday. We had a gap. We were unable to close the gap. The nuances were to the long side, and we were getting confirmation of that with the negative delta. If you don't know what delta is, let me know. Of course, we can go over that. But it's going to make opportunities for us to be a little bit difficult for us. We're at the high of the session here. What do? Do we buy the high? Sometimes buying high and selling higher is the right thing to do. I'm looking to you guys, I'm looking to all of you to see what we should do here. Spencer says oversold into the CPI. Tomorrow should most certainly be fun. Jimmy, Anthony, good to see everybody. Jimmy, Delta. Delta is quite simply put the number of contracts that trade on the offer, which is positive delta. Those are buy market orders, positive delta, minus the number of contracts that trade on the bid, which are market orders sells. Negative delta means that there are 6,400 more contracts in the regular trading hour session today that traded on the bid. It's an indicator of aggression. The short time frame traders that use market orders to get in and out of the market have been aggressive sellers throughout the entire session today. Are they too short? If they are, by the end of the session today, I would expect a continuation move to the upside. Now, there's always the possibility that the longer time frame traders have finished their executions for the day. Sometimes when that happens, the short time frame shorts will get paid. So we've got to be very careful up here. We've got a week high right now. This week high, okay, is above Monday's high, which was low excess high. Now it looks like, the market is continuing to try and push to the upside. And again, the nuances from this morning, late spike, opening above the base of the late spike indicates a possible acceptance of higher pricing. The gap fill was unable. We were unable to fill the gap. When we do that, we can't do that relatively early. We look for opportunities to buy the market. Now we're seeing that negative delta, which is indicating that the short time frame traders have been selling into this market all day long. The delta was negative 10,000 at the low here. At the high here, you would think it might be positive by this time of the day, but it remains relatively negative. So if Elvis is still in the building, by Elvis meaning the longer time frame buyers, they're going to continue to keep the pressure on the short time frame shorts, and we may see another late spike to the upside today. This is all speculation. Nobody knows for sure. Nobody knows for sure what's going to happen. So the question is, what do we do at this time of the day? 39.88 close in Anthony Bell's opinion. It's a good opportunity. That's a good guess. Aaron is very excited that we're out of that horrible range. No real trade available in my eyes until we see a retracement, baby, back to VWAP on the 15. Well, VWAP here on the 30 is at 61. It should be the same on the 15. This is session anchored, so the beginning from last night is where this one is coming in. So that would be a pretty substantial move in the opposite direction for us to look for an opportunity. Just looking at something here. So we really haven't had much of a pullback since we extended the range here. We've got a less than an hour of the regular trading hour session. So we're going to get some answers at some point here. Hello, everyone. Dan in Zoom, Daniel, Vince, my guy. It's good to see you. Spence tried one trade this morning, closed it for a small loss, and that was it. Didn't trade at all after that. Not your kind of day. Spence, you said you were going to use that as your plan today. Sounds like you pretty much stuck to it. Hello, JM. Jan. Ah, okay, Jan. Alejandro says, do nothing. Well, I better start juggling or singing or playing a song or something here, huh? Dr. VJ's Delta has been negative all day. This volume profile is nice and fat up here still. No tapered tail yet, so I think the upside auction is not finished yet. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jan. Okay. So Spencer answered VWAP, anchors VWAP to the regular trading hour open. Get a lot of plays off it in a week, 1 to 3 a day. If you wouldn't mind, Spencer, what is your regular trading hour anchored VWAP telling you right now? Afternoon, James. Good to see you. Zach, can't seem to take winning trades when they're winning and they keep going red on me. So, Spencer, if you want to put that information in, we appreciate it. Travis, tough day for you as well. If anybody wants to join me in chat, you're more than welcome to let me know. I can let you in. DNA is 39.64.15 for anchored VWAP. I figured it was probably pretty close. See, now we're seeing range extension again. Jan. So this is, okay, let me make sure that this is reading right here. 61. It's a little bit off, but relatively close. Here's how I have it set up. So for it to be accurate, you got to go session. You can't go chart. You got to go session. Chart is going to be continuation. For the S&Ps to show accurately as I have on another platform, I have the start hour at 8 a.m. and the minutes at 0. So it's got to start a half an hour at a time for it to present as accurate. I don't know why, but it was pointed out to me by somebody I was working with that this is much more accurate than if you started at 8:30. Okay, then you can show value on the 0 line as well as delta. Okay, then I'm going to save this. So this is off by about 200 contracts according to another platform that I'm using. It's still negative, however. The rip, Dr. VJ, that you're talking about is likely to evaporate some of the delta. So if we are correct in the assumption, if we are assuming that we've got short time frame traders stuck short at the high here, eventually they're going to bail, and they're going to bail hard. And that could be enough to evaporate the total negative delta that we have here. So we'll look for continuation, and if we do see continuation, and we're already seeing delta reducing its negativity a little bit here on this range extension, it may not be done yet. We still have negative delta and possible shorts trapped in this market. Yes, I was thinking the same thing, Daniel. When you make an assumption, you make an ass out of you and me. But We can only, maybe a better word would be hypothesize. If we are hypothesizing that we still have short time frame traders trapped, then by the end of the session, many of them are going to go home flat. They are going to have to buy to cover those positions. So, an unproven idea. Yes, an educated guess. Yes. JM, I'm thinking the same thing. The right thing to do is to go along and chew up the shorts, right? So if 82.72, if we just buy one here, which I just did, put our money where our mouth is. Now, this could be dead wrong, but I'm going to put a stop in at, what are we long? 82 quarter. I'm going to risk 10 points on this. I don't suggest doing this, but we have a hypothesis. Now we've put a little money behind that hypothesis. The market usually likes to make a liar out of me. Yes, Anthony Bell, the market is designed to do as much pain as possible. See if it inflicts pain on us or on the shorts that we believe are still stuck in this market. We got 10 points of risk on this. Am I looking for 10 points of potential profit? No, not necessarily. I don't know what the potential profit could be. Okay, Jimmy, yes. Delta is something that in 2 weeks I'm going to be presenting a 2-day webinar, Market Profile and the Auction Process. I'm going to be presenting an actual situation where volume, open interest, and delta indicated a directional move in gold at the beginning of last year. Delta, all of this information from time to time will become very clear and useful. There's a lot of time when it doesn't mean much. You have to keep on accepting, organizing the information, collecting the information for the 1, 2, 3 times a year where it's going to be very clear as to what is potentially happening in the marketplace. When I say clear, we never really know. We can improve our probabilities by keeping track of some of this information that I'm going to be talking about. That's next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday and Thursday. Next Wednesday, we're going to have another group coaching session with Jared Tendler. That's going to be at about 3:15 a week from today. Jared Tendler, the author of the book, The Mental Game of Trading, an excellent book that a lot of you I know have read. So we're in here pretty early. Usually if I'm going to be looking for a late spike or something, I'm going to try and get in closer to 2:30. No, this isn't any... Spencer, did you want to talk? Awesome. Promoting you. Hello, Spence. You are currently muted if you're trying to say something. How are you?
I'm unmuted now.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, John. Yeah, so I'm not trading today. I mean, this is a little too slow for my liking. I like those face ripping trends, but this is a trend. We've been in an uptrend for the last 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I trade trends is really simple. I have a 1-minute chart pulled up and I try to attack the edge of every pullback. So it just takes a little bit of looking at candlestick formations on the 1 minute, and a little bit of tape reading to try to intuit where the pullback is finished, and I'll attack it real quick with an order. And if it pulls back a little more, I might add. But I've always got that point I'm looking at where if it goes back this far, okay, this is not a pullback; it's a reversal.
Right. Sure. And this is on a 1 minute
As
chart.
long as I know where that point is, I'm okay no matter how long the trend has gone already during the day. I'm looking at it like, well, it's not showing me any sign of finishing yet, so I'm going to keep following it until it stops paying me.
Good. Good. And you said that's on a 1 minute chart you're looking at?
Yeah, I like executing on a 1 minute chart. I've always got the 30-minute up right next to it, so that I can have the big picture of what's going on. But I like to see in fine detail what's going on inside those 30-minute candles.
Sure.
That's where you can see the little pullbacks that you can get in on if it's just steadily trending upward.
So would you say on what
That's
you can...
why I said in the chat you can put your stop at 75.
70, right down below this low.
Because that was our last pullback, stopped at 76. So if we pull back deeper than that, we don't want to be in anymore. We want to wait and see what happens.
So you're just using that pullback low on that 1 minute chart for your risk.
I trail my stops that way on a trend too. As soon as I see a higher low on the 1 minute, I'll move my stop and I'll protect my profit right there.
Would you say that's a higher low?
Deeper than that, I can always get back in lower as long as it still looks bullish when it's finished pulling back.
Would you say that's a higher low here?
You might, yeah. I don't know. It kind of went sideways there for a little
For a little while, right?
There's some support there.
All right, well, we've got our stop here.
This thing looks like it just wants to grind higher, though.
Yeah, it does. I mean...
I kind of regret not putting a long on earlier today. The action was just so slow, and I don't like that. I want to put a position on and have the market leave my entry behind and
never come back, right?
And if I can only trade 1 or 2 days out of the week, that's what I'm realizing now is if I can only trade 1 or 2 days out of the week to get that market condition, I should just stick to that and not trade those other days.
If you were in group coaching, one of my dad's wisdoms is he could double his income if he'd only trade 3 days a week.
Exactly.
Right? But you don't know which days are the bad days.
Exactly. Yeah. So where I'm at right now, I'm about a week and a half into the Express funded account, and I've decided from here on out I'm going to try to catch a trend in the morning, and if it doesn't look like it's going to trend, I'm out and I'm done for the day.
Okay. So you're taking it pretty easy then,
That's what happened this morning. I looked for it to break out and run because we were opening a little out of balance, and it didn't do it, so I just called it a day.
So somebody was mentioning this gap here from back in December.
Oh, yeah.
The high of this gap here, 39.85 quarter. To close the gap, we got to get up to 39.97. And we're in that
moving average.
We're in that gap. That's the 200 session.
Okay.
But this is regular trading hour session only.
Okay, I was going to say the 200 on my continuous charts, we've already touched it.
Yep. Yeah, I've got it here. So there it is. But I don't have the 200 session on it. I'm going to add it right now. The 200's always got to be red. And
there we go. Yeah, I was going to say the other day it was resistance. There it is.
Yep, there it is. Okay, there's the 30. Here's your 1 minute. Got a little pullback here. Yeah, I can't watch a 1 minute chart. Spencer gives me heart palpitations.
Jumpy. I've kind of desensitized myself to it over the last year, and little jerks don't really get me anymore. But I really like watching the volume bars on the 1 minute chart. I like seeing, when we're pulling back, I like to see the volume taper off. And when we start going forward again,
I like to see it
the volume
increase.
That tells me the trend is healthy.
Sure. Yep. Everything on volume, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a slow grind up, but it should make us some money.
Well, we better.
Towards the end of the day, who knows? We might get a little bit of a ripper with all that negative delta in the market.
85 quarter. Just about getting into that gap here. We have somebody saying, Jared is saying, does anybody see 86 quarter as a potential exit? So, Daniel has a high volume node in the 39.93 to 39.99 area. That's pretty aggressive for this time of day, but I like it. Travis's next resistance level is 88.50 to 97.50. Yeah, we're pulling back here. Still have 66.
This morning and wanted the market to break out and run to 39.95, but it just never happened.
So now all of a sudden this delta is right on with my other platform that I trust. So we're starting to add negative delta again. Obviously, because we're pulling off, right? We're seeing some aggressive sellers here. I'll put up this minute chart here. Oops, here we go. And so there's
on the 1 minute chart. I like to have volume, cumulative delta, and ATR. And I use ATR for my stop placement. I'll let ATR
on the one
how far behind the level I want to put my stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'll allow price to test like 1 minute ATR through a level, and that'll be a valid test and reject as long as it doesn't go farther than that.
Yeah, ATR on a 1 minute's usually a pretty good stop, isn't it?
Yeah, because it'll be like 3 points throughout the day usually. On a really slow day like today, it might get down to 1.4. What's it at right now? Let me see. Yeah, it's 1.49 right now.
So 1.5. That's pretty tight.
Yeah, pretty tight, yeah. But these are small 1 minute candles, so you shouldn't expect it to push very far through a level that you're expecting to be resistance. Whereas when volatility is high, it can reach pretty far through that level before it gets rejected.
Laura, thank you again for pointing out that gap on the regular trading hour session from the 14th to the 15th. We are right up against that now, aren't we? Jimmy, today a no news is good news day? Or do you think it's an anticipation of CPI? Well, I'm sure that there is some inventory adjustment in all time frames of waiting for that CPI number tomorrow. Whether it's longer time frame traders liquidating, covering shorts that have moved this market higher against the short time frame, or if it's them adding to positions in the S&Ps, it doesn't matter to me. The point is, with the delta as negative as it's been all day, it's indicating that the short time frame traders are very short. Now, if Elvis leaves the building, by Elvis I mean the snake in the woodpile, the buyers that are just putting in bids and soaking them up, putting in bids and soaking them up. If they've left the building, this thing could turn around and head lower. We don't know for sure. See, now we're in M period. We're in the last period of the day where we put up the late spike yesterday. We got negative delta. It is still relatively high in negativity, or low, if you will. So we're going to see if we get a late push to the upside. If Elvis is still in the building, there's a probability of that. But I can see, no news is good news day. The S&Ps have been eating shorts for 40 years. When things are going well and the thing just continues to grind higher and higher, it eats short time frame shorts. Right now, it's eating us.
This pullback we're in now is about as long as the last one was a few minutes ago. Like, if I had gotten in earlier and I was in profit right now, I'd be adding to my position right here.
You would. Same,
but
right?
Since we're at a loss, I don't add the losers.
Mm-hmm.
We want to just wait and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it just means we should have been more patient to look for an entry.
Exactly. We got in a little high.
Yeah. And early, I usually wait a little bit later in the session before I look for these things to happen. But Elvis could have left the building. We don't know. When I see delta negative like this, it's kind of like, I call it there's a snake in the woodpile. You stick your hand in the woodpile and there's a snake there, you're going to get bit. So here's what he's talking about here. So here's the high, here's the low. Here's our recent high, here's the low. That's the same distance from the high to the low. Got a little deeper than that on this pullback.
A little bit. We might get stopped out here, but notice every high and low, even on a 1 minute chart, it shows excess on those 1 minute candles. If I see that, and I see, like, when it got to the edge, I saw the tape flush green with buyers stepping in,
Mm-hmm.
That would tell me, okay, maybe I can add to my position here if I was already in profit. So I just try to add on the low and then peel one off on the high, and I'll just roll a position like that as far as the trend will go.
Spencer, I love the way you're talking. You're looking to add to winning positions. Negative 7,000 delta. Delta continuing to drop.
I gotta grab a beverage out of the fridge. I'll be right back.
Yeah, grab me a beer. Here you go, Daniel. In YouTube, or those of you listening and watching on YouTube, are you able to hear Spencer well?
Is my mic too quiet?
No, it's just sometimes they say that it's difficult to hear the guests. I think you're fine though. I haven't heard anybody Haven't seen anybody say it's hard to hear you.
Yeah, this is going a lot lower on this pullback.
Yeah, it is. Jimmy can hear fine. Thank you. I like logs. What is the average time it takes for people to get through the trading combine? It's all over the place. I like logs. Some folks, maybe they hit a good part of the market state and they get through the trading combine easily. Newer traders, of course, are probably going to take a little bit longer. It's really difficult for me, I guess, to put a finger on how long it takes. I've seen people get through it in their first time through, and I've seen people that are working at it for a long time. So it just depends on the trader.
I'm on my 5th funded account, and I've done combines. It's taken me as long as about 3.5 months, and I've done it in as little as a month. This last one, I just did the 150 in a month, both step 1 and 2. I've done 50,000. I've done swing combines. I've yet to take a withdrawal from a funded account, though. Every time I get to the funded account, I don't know if it's greed or what. I'm working through it with Jared Tendler's book right now. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, but I've fallen on my face in every funded account.
Well, just keep at it. I mean, you're getting closer and closer to sustenance, and that's everybody that I've worked with has been my goal to help them get to the point where they can just maintain an account and buy the time to get better at it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's never easy.
I realized a lot of it is just I keep sitting down at my desk and feeling like I need to trade every day. Like every day should be a good trading day. And the way I like to trade, I shouldn't trade every day. I should be very selective about which days I want to trade.
Yep. Usually, for me, bad trading days are usually bookmarked by 3 consecutive losses early in the session.
Yeah.
Some folks are probably looking at, a monetary monetary loss as their trigger. For me, it's 3 consecutive losing trades.
I don't like range bound days. I don't like risking almost as much as I'm making. I don't like trying to trade the edges when the edges keep shifting on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a very skilled trader, but I'm really good at attacking trends, and I'm okay with that being my only skill. I'll just make sure that I only trade on trend days. If that's what I got to do, then so be it.
You just trade what you're good at, right?
Exactly. If
Yeah.
you find something that works, just stick with it and forget the rest. You don't need it. You got that one thing that'll make you money.
I'm going to answer Randall Welton here. The name of the book that he just mentioned is The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Now,
Excellent book.
next Wednesday, after the reflection about 3:15, we're going to have Jared Tendler with us for an hour, answering questions and talking about his book and trading and performance, basically, right? I mean, that's what this is all about, is performance. So he's going to be with us next Wednesday, a week from today.
I like his inchworm concept about the C game, B game, and A game, and where you should like really focus is just trying to reduce the damage that your C game causes. Like just suck a little less.
I love that.
Okay?
I love that. Right? Yeah, that's just what it is,
When
right?
you look at it that way, it's like, oh, yeah, I can do that.
Right. Just get a little better every day.
Make my bad days suck less, so my good days will pay.
Right. So, like I suggested, we were early on that entry, but we're still, We're now at negative 7,700 delta. If all those shorts bail,
That's a lot of negative delta for that little move down, and it hasn't even made a new low yet.
yeah, we added about 2,000 on this push down.
But is it going to stop?
That's the big question. Has Elvis left the building? Is our buyer still present?
Party over?
And the later it gets, if we don't get a pretty decent pullback to the downside here, the probabilities get higher for a continuation up. We have a lot of short traders that aren't going to get paid the closer we get to 3 o'clock.
ATR is down to 1.36. These candles are getting tiny.
We're seeing buy-side MOC imbalances. I don't know if that's going to save us in time, though.
Might push it the other way.
Right?
Well, it was worth a try.
Yeah. And, we were talking about it and thinking about it and, showing everybody the nuances. We thought maybe this time I would just put our money up and see if we can catch the move. But, again, a little bit early.
Or a little late.
Yeah, one of the two.
If you'd gotten into that last little pullback, you could have took profit at 84.
Negative 7,300 delta. Ooh.
It's not good when your only hope is for a big order to come in and hose the market.
Yeah, right.
That's usually when you should cut your trade.
Yeah. Yeah, we just took out that swing low you were pointing out, just barely.
Yeah.
You betcha there were some stops there.
It looked like it as quick as it went.
Yeah.
That stop's getting blown out.
Greg, yeah, we do have a naked point of control from today's session. The TPO point of control down here at 39.65.50 approximately. Spencer, thanks for stepping up and spending a little time talking to old Hoag here. This has been fun.
Oh, absolutely. It's been fun. I love these make hold money sessions. I don't usually attend them because I'm trading and I get distracted, but
yeah, well, anytime you're around, just join us. Negative 7,600 delta. You got your long shadow on the end of that 1 minute bar that you're looking at there. You were saying all the lows have been long shadows. You got a long one here.
Looks like a low, all right.
Looking at a 1 minute chart.
Yeah, like today's a slow day, but on a fast trend, when it's really ripping,
Oh, it goes.
That's the way to trade it, is a 1 minute chart and looking at the tick tape.
Spencer?
Otherwise, if you're only looking at the 30-minute, you can't tell where that thing's gonna pull back or.
Spencer, there's not too many people in this world that'll get me to look at a 1 minute chart.
Well, there's a lot of guys in our Discord that use tick charts.
Yeah.
And those are a bit much for me, like the 100 tick chart.
Oh, that's crazy.
I I like to keep it time based, but I like to see in fine granular detail what's going on inside those 30-minute candles.
We just lost 1,000 in Delta. The shorts are nervous.
Yeah, end of the day, they didn't get what they were looking for. It's time to bail.
Shorts are getting nervous. Another MOC imbalance, 300 million to the buy side. $5,900 negative delta. Still plenty there. Darren used the 1594 tick with the 80 with the 10 session exponential moving average and the 50 EMA cross. Why 1594, I wonder?
I don't know. I like to cast all my moving averages in powers of 3, so they're like 3, 9, 27, 81, 243.
It's like Fibonacci moving averages.
Sort of like, yeah, but each is 3 times the last. And then I made a indicator on TradingView that turns all of that into a MACD. It's kind of cool. I haven't decided if it's really all that useful yet or not, but I've been putting it on my charts and just kind of looking at it and looking for divergences and whatnot. So far, every time it shows divergence from a trend on price action, the trend will roll over within like the next 2 trading sessions.
Interesting. Another 183 million buy side early MOC. I'm getting these off of Financial Juice. I'm not sure how in time they are, but
Price action is looking a little limp.
yep.
If it was going to start ripping, it would already be ripping by now, I think.
Well, it's about 250. I think we're going to have our answer.
Yeah, that last 10 minutes. I don't know. Sometimes the order book thickens up so much that last 10 minutes that even though there's an insane amount of volume, the price barely moves.
Everybody's
That's always weird to me when that happens. I see these huge volume bars and the price is barely going anywhere.
Everybody's got to get out. So we just lost another 1,000 in Delta. 48 now. 49. 5.
Well, we might get to close this thing at break even.
Well, I think we may do better than that.
Let's hope.
We sat through all this heat.
We've been doing good the last few Make Hold Money sessions.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've always been the one that's gotten nervous during winning streaks.
Oh yeah.
So when I start to feel pressure to keep a winning streak on, that's been historically a horrible downdraw for me. So I
tend to have a bad losing day after a really good winning day.
or series of winning days.
Yeah.
So I decided to break those streaks on my own. I used to take a day off. Streak over. Start from 0.
Yeah, today was my day off. I wasn't going to trade at all, but the market positioned itself where the open, I had to at least test the waters.
Uh,
And that didn't play out, so I was just done for the day.
4,300. We're getting close here. 250. 30 seconds. We'll put in a target there for us in case it pops up there and we don't get in. But that's 39.90's weekly kickoff high. Back to break even. $3,800 negative delta. We're taking it out already here.
Yeah, it's going up now.
Got it. This 1 minute chart, every move looks huge. If I'm looking at a 30-minute chart, I'm like, what?
I squished the 1 minute chart down so the grid lines on the chart are like 2 points each.
Like this.
Yeah, so it looks a little less dramatic.
4,200.
Realize you
Here
see
we
these
go.
candles that get a little long and you feel like you have to react to them.
805 million buy side. Nothing. Nothing. Let's see if we extend the range now. We still got some negative delta to soak up here.
Some positions to close.
I love it when we have delta divergence because it just,
It's kind of a gimme a lot of days.
well, it gives me confidence in thinking, at least that I'm getting an understanding of what the longer time frame participation has been and what my direct competitors, the pea shooters like us, are thinking. And if you've read Tom Hugard's book, the normal thinking is not going to win. You got to think differently than everybody else. And if everybody's short, we're long. And I think that's where we're at now. I mean, we're still seeing increase in negative delta right here at the high. We're back above 4,200 now. They're still selling it. And here we go. For high.
This is when the volume starts coming in.
Uh-huh. Last 10 minutes. MOCs. Week high. Go. Somebody get out and push.
Low on it.
Me put a support underneath it right here with my cursor.
This is when I start yelling at the tick tape. Come on, buyers, let's go.
There we go. Now we just got those stops above the previous high. 3,500 negative delta still. Jimmy Decker's helping. Vince is out there pushing. They're still selling it. Back above 4,000 negative delta. Should we try unplugging it and plugging it back in?
Well, this one's not going to break the bank, but we'll close it in profit.
Yeah.
There it goes again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we got a nice push going here. Still 4,000 negative delta. Anthony just took my $1,452 profit. Nice.
Nice. Go get it.
Nice job, Anthony.
This thing really does want to go hit 39.90.
Yep. JM says in the gap now. Some weak structure up there. Laura, thanks again for pointing that out. 3,500 negative delta. They're running. They're afraid they're not going to be able to pay for the furnace that they just had to put in. Within 4 ticks. Negative 4,400, negative 4,700 delta. They're still selling it.
I would trail the stop to 86 and not give back more profit than that if it was me, because it's so late in the day.
Mr. Valentine has set the price.
You never know. The last 2 minutes, it could reverse real quick on you.
Bite your tongue.
Close at a loss.
Bite your tongue. Okay, where are we at here? Yes. NASDAQ 186, 1.6%. Dow. Hmm. 5,200 negative delta. Well, this is a lot of work and a lot of time.
A lot of work for a little profit.
Right.
I love the way this account is grinding its way back, though. It was more than $900 in the hole. It's making progress.
See, this is why I will typically put a profit target short of where I think it's going to go. 39.90 is weekly kickoff. We put in a new high amount.
Well, we got 1 minute.
Oh, we're going to get it.
Here it goes.
We're going to get it.
Look at that.
We're going to get it.
Well, maybe.
No, I took it.
There we go.
10% rule.
Yeah.
So Yeah, nice little profit there, $33. I can buy a couple of cheeseburgers for that.
Well, we peeled off about $200 worth of loss off of this
Yeah,
account in the last week and a half. That's not
right,
bad.
right.
Straight micros.
I think we got a little bit more to go here. Look at how negative delta is still here at the high.
Yeah.
Negative 5,600.
The volume this last minute is crazy.
Well, we got some good things to talk about on the reflection today. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta get ready for the reflection. And nice trade today, guys.
Alrighty.
Really good, I think, example of how paying attention to delta at certain times can really be helpful for us. Trade well, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you in just a few minutes on the market reflection.
See you, John.
Thanks, Spencer. It's been a gas.